Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you with a long form talk podcast type video of when do you take risks? When should you take risks? When should you stop taking risks? This is different for each person. I say generally speaking that you have the highest risk tolerance, which means you should be more risky up until up until where your actions don't only just affect you anymore. And what I mean by that is like if something bad happens to you, who else does it affect? Do you live with your immediate family? Do you have a wife? Do you have kids? Other people that support you or depend on you? For men, it's a little easier to have a higher risk tolerance because you can stay single for a long time. You're not on the clock like women are to have kids in a certain age. Why do women mature faster? Because they have to have their shit together by the time they're 30-ish 30s, because that's just generally what they kind of realize in their head. Oh, okay, I don't have that long left to have kids if I want. And that's what people want. But for men, you could have kind of kids anytime. And from what I read, it's you appreciate kids a little bit more when you're older. Like, oh yeah, they're more fun. Appreciate it more. So okay, makes sense. But you could be 22 and you could have a wife and kid, and then it's like, okay, well, not that you shouldn't have done that. It's just now it's like you have a family and you can't be. Your tolerance is a lot lower now because your actions affect more than just you. Now, if your partner has a very good income as well, if you both have good, and I'm just talking about financial risk here, but if your partner has good income, you both have good income, you both have good expendable income where you can do certain projects on your own, okay, yeah, risk tolerance is a little bit higher because you'll always be able to make that money. But I feel like there's a happiness is what everyone should strive for. Because like you could have money. I have money. I have a lot of money, and I'm not always happy. I mean, I am now, but strive to be happy first, because that is it. Like I know people worth 9 figures that are miserable. Kids don't talk to them. Their ex-wife or wives are the thorns in their side constantly, and they don't like their lives. They don't like the way it turned out, and they would give it all up. They would give up all of their money, all their assets, to be able to start over and do things differently and go for what they enjoyed. A job is a job. You are most likely, it's okay. You do it because you have to, but most of the times you don't really enjoy it. I'm extraordinarily lucky in the fact that I enjoy both of the businesses that I'm building right now. One, I'm being able to lend out money to other business owners to help make America great. Not like the Trump lines, like like although sometimes I use that to do a sale, but I want to be able to like see a business owner making 20 grand a month, and I give them a loan and say like, all right, with this you can buy material or labor, equipment, whatever, and they use that and they start making more and more money, and then suddenly they're not just doing 200 grand a year, they're doing 500 grand a year. It's like I help that. I help them with that, and it's really cool. Like again, and I'm just a small piece of the puzzle. They do everything else, all the hard work. I just give money, but the fact that I'm able to help that's really fun. And buying and selling Pokemon cards is great. But I think Richard Gilmore said it best. Like when you're young and you're in 20s, that is the time to take risks. It is because once you have people that depend on you, you can't take those risks anymore, or you shouldn't. I don't think, because then that affects them. But while you're young, again, especially if you're a guy, you take risks all you want. Doesn't matter. Like if you don't have a lot of money, and not that I'm saying to be irresponsible, but I feel like there's so much pressure on kids. They'll be like, okay, yeah, have fun in college, but as soon as you get out into the real world, you got to get your shit together. No, it doesn't have to be like that. Again, I didn't know what I wanted. I fell into this. After high school, I worked several jobs to be able to afford to live. And some people do that forever. I don't know how the fudge people do that forever, but they do. And I was lucky enough to be like, okay, I'm in shape. I don't have anything really crazy wrong with me. And I went into the military. And for those of you that don't know, it's kind of hard to get into the military. Like, it's harder to get in the military than it is to get into college. Because you could be fat and have allergies, and if you can pay to get into college, they'll accept you. You know, depending on IQ, I guess. But with military, no, you have to be in decent shape, like at least in shape enough where they can be like, okay, let's do this, and they can inculcate other things in you. But try out everything. If you're not sure, don't, like, I think Daria said it best, where she said, I don't want to wake up in my 30s depressed and pissed off because someone forced me to decide on my career when I was in my teens. You don't have to decide right away. If there's something that you're passionate about, yes, like, try. Like, I've worked with a lot of veterinarians over the years. I was in the animal field, and some people, they had massive culture shock when they were in school or they first got to their practice. Like, this is nothing that I thought it would be like. Because some people, they just, they're into the science, that want to help animals, but then they can't take it mentally. Like, before you do anything, go work at that job first. Go talk to people that are in those career fields first. And if that career field doesn't exist, really, like, I had no idea that high-risk lending was a thing. Yeah, banking, sure, but high-risk lending? Okay, yeah, no, I didn't know. Thankfully, I found someone that's one of my best friends in life, great mentor. I view him as a brother, business partner, but brother. And then with buying and selling Pokemon cards, who the fudge ever did that? Pokemon didn't even exist 27 years ago. It started in 95, 96, but yeah, go and try it. Try everything you're interested in, as long as you can. Stay with your parents. Stay with, and don't make it seem like, okay, if I have an apartment, I have a house, if I have this, I have a watch and a car, that means I'm successful. No, it doesn't. I live in a boiler room, and like, I don't have heat right now. I'm doing everything at my office the past couple of weeks because I don't, the electricity's been wonky, so I don't have Wi-Fi. But do everything. Again, I'm still in my 20s, very, very late 20s, but do everything. Try everything. Again, I didn't settle on something until I was 27. After I got out of the military, I was like, okay, let's try to go to, or I guess 26, go to college. And I tried, and I just didn't like it. I did very well, I just didn't like it. But try everything, because you don't know what you're going to fall in love with. You don't know what you're going to be like, wow, this is really great. My friend Dennis wanted to be an engineer, but in one of his later high school years in high school, instead of doing one thing, is like, oh, well, I'll just volunteer at this animal hospital to make, I like dogs, I'll make an extra couple of credits or something. And he fell in love with it. And he's extraordinarily smart. He would have been a great engineer. He's kind of an asshole like that. Engineers are assholes because when I used to work as a chimney sweeper, and we'd have to get either to the boiler or to the chimney, whatever, there's always a bunch of pipes, and engineers would make it impossible to get back there. So you had to rearrange everything and take things apart. It's like, oh my god, engineers, get your shit together. But no, he goes and that's what he wanted to do. And even in his college essay, where you have to write an essay to be a veterinarian, he says, like, I want to be an engineer, but I did this, and this, and fell in love with it, and that's what happens. Like, you don't know what you're gonna like. Like sometimes, like I will never do that. Like, you know what? I haven't hit myself in the face with a hammer, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't freaking like it. Okay, yes, fair point. But like I said, just try things. And when you're in your 20s, that's the time to do it. That's the time to be poor. Poor up until after I left the military. Poor up until I started my own business. Never thought I'd do that. I didn't want the responsibility. I saw other people, especially other hospitals. Oh, where people are just there constantly, and yeah, I get it. Well, I'm doing two businesses, so that's why. But and I guess trying to launch a third. But you don't know what you're gonna like, and it's something that do it while you can, because eventually you're not gonna have that ability to, and that would be one of your regrets, is doing something or is just not doing something, and then say I wish I would have. Now, if you're in sports, that's a different thing. If you want to actually be successful at that sport, and I don't mean just like, oh yeah, have a good time with your friends, play a pickup game every a couple times a week. Bless me. No, you have to get crazy with it. I did boxing, went crazy with it. When Michael Jordan does basketball, it goes crazy. You do that from the time you get up until the time you go to bed. That's what you do. You obsess over it. If you want to be the best, that's what you do. And even then, your best might not be good enough. Someone just has a God-given talent, and it just happens. But if you want to do something with that, you have to dedicate a lot of time to it. Anything, if you want to be the best. Now, you don't have to be the best. Again, the goal is to be happy. And I could probably retire by the time I'm 40 years old, be a millionaire in my mid-30s, and obviously I have other things that I want to do. Mostly give it a lot to charity, so I won't retire at 40, but I could. And what do I want to do? Deep in my soul, what do I want when I'm successful? I want to spend time with friends. I want to laugh with them, be happy, and drink and listen to good music. Like, I was over at my friend Ty's the other night, and we were just watching one of those Gundam movies. We were talking about just, there's a couple of us there. We were just talking about other animes we like. That shit's fun. I love that. That's the goal, to just do that and be happy. I want to be able to play video games again. I don't have time for my Pokemon game is almost a year old. Pokemon Sword. I have not beaten it yet. I have 8 badges, and I've almost beat like the Pokemon League. I just haven't had time. And that makes me feel so sorrowful, because I love video games. I was very good at them. I play with the kid. Mario, Felix the Cat, and I just don't have time anymore. What I want to do, and that's success, doing what you want to do. Do I go on vacation every year? Yes. Not really this year because of COVID, but this is something that if you could, let's say you have a chance to be like really successful, make a lot of money, but you're not going to be happy, don't do it. Don't do it. Like, if you know you're going to be miserable, don't do it. Like I said, I know people work tens of millions of dollars, $100 million, miserable. But I have other friends that, my friend Kyle is a janitor at my old high school. He loves it. He loves it. Like, he's like, yeah, the kids are great. He does get benefits. I go and, get to see, some of the concerts, the sports. Like, he just loves it. He just loves it there. And he has a decent job. Like, I don't know if he's going to start his own janitorial company anytime soon, but if you ever read the book The Millionaire Next Door, yeah, you can do that. I have one friend says he's a tattoo artist. I don't know if she even practices anymore, does that, but hella happy. Loves it. Just got a couple of metal cats and a couple of little Pomskis, like Pomeranian Huskies. I don't even know how the hell they did that, but they did. And just happy as a picking shit. She loves her life. I love her life. Life's great. So you don't have to make money to be successful. And when I define success, my friend Vinny has defined it as how many people are better off because you lived. But I think you could also define it as, are you happy? And if you're happy, again, that's, if you love Smurfs, go Smurf it up. I don't know anyone in that hobby yet. If you love my friend Brandon loves Funko Pops. He does something with like insurance, I think, but on the side he buys and sells Funko Pops. He loves that shit, and I hope he's happy. So again, the best advice I could give you as far as risk: don't listen to what anyone has to say. Don't try to appease your parents just for the sake of appeasing them and making them look good. Do what makes you happy. Do what you want. Do it in your 20s when your risk tolerance is high. And if you decide to, you're in love, you settle down, start a family, then your risk tolerance goes down. So, just saying, just be aware of that. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I love you all. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I'll catch you all later.